Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Well, I recently finished a big Stargate binge, both SG1 and Atlantis. I do plan on getting around to Universe soon as well. During the watch through, one episode stuck out amongst the rest, that being Window of Opportunity. Unsurprisingly, this episode seems to stand out amongst the fanbase and is often at the top of rankings. It even has a very solid score on IMDb, which is very well deserved. I wanted to discuss it in more depth, so here it is, my review of Window of Opportunity. Now, what's weird about this is that this episode is technically filler in the series. When you think Stargate, automatically your mind would go to the Goa'uld. I mean, I would think Baal, as he's the best. Maybe even the Replicators, or even further down the line, the Ori possibly, if you're feeling hallowed. Well, none of the big staples appear here, which is interesting. This self-contained story is able to tell a compelling plot with a time travel motif. This massively ignores a lot of the greater lore from the show, bar some references to the ancients and some text to translate, which is what makes this one thrive. So in terms of the episode itself, it opens in a strong way on the planet P4X63, which has a strong solar flare in place. This cold open does so much in highlighting Malachi as a recurring character across the plot, along with the significance of the planet and the time travel device itself. And I mean that literally, as Malachi has been attempting to manipulate this device for the longest time, but was clearly struggling with it. So O'Neill and teal'c end up getting trapped in a time loop, constantly repeating the same day. I think it's such an inspired choice to have it be these two out of the four main characters to be trapped in a singular day, as they would objectively struggle the most. Daniel could quite easily translate the texts, while Carter would have a much greater knowledge of the technology trapping them there. It creates the most interesting storytelling this way. Upon my first watch, I was worried that the whole motif was going to get tiresome quite quickly, but I actually think there's enough variety here for it to be a very entertaining plot. It manages to include organic roadblocks to prevent the pair of them from moving forward with their day. Given how harshly the day resets itself, they're shown very quickly that attempting to make notes or record facts via audio equipment isn't going to work. The whole universe resets itself back to the same time and location. This difficulty is expressed primarily through O'Neill, who is getting more irritable each go around. It makes sense. I think if anyone, teal'c included, would feel this way. It even manages to incorporate some humour into this via the means of return. Every reset sends O'Neill back to his daily Fruit Loops, which is leaving a literal bad taste in his mouth. Whereas teal'c is repeatedly being shoved by a door, we as the spectator see their anger build up, and in teal'c's case, it's very understandable here. As I said earlier on, this plot is filler, but it is certainly filler done right. It gives the characters a golden opportunity to do as many dumb and fun things as they wish without there being a big repercussion for doing so, and O'Neill takes full advantage of this. Shooting golf balls through the Stargate is definitely a favourite moment of mine. It's so random yet very entertaining viewing. It's the kind of thing which fits O'Neill's personality perfectly. It's just a little added bonus that teal'c joins in. The writers clearly like to tease that there is something between O'Neill and Carter, and right here is one of the rare instances where they deliver.
Excuse me, George. Colonel, what are you doing out of uniform? Handing you my resignation?
Resigning? What for?
So I can do this.
I know what you're thinking, and yes, I wish there was a loop where O'Neill quit so he could give General Hammond a big kiss, but I digress. It was an intriguing plot point to have teal'c and O'Neill slowly translate the Ancients' text with Daniel across the loops. I think the fact they are slowly chipping away one loop at a time all the while Daniel forgets day in and day out is what makes this task so entertaining. It must have been tremendously painful for them to have to do this, yet they do seem to persevere as they move on. Malachi is an interesting antagonist. He's not trying to cause deliberate pain to O'Neill and teal'c. He's a desperate man who just wants to get the device working in the hope of seeing a deceased loved one again. I think this more human touch works well with the overall plot. Outside of the Goa'uld maybe wanting to cease SG1, as they're causing too many problems for them, I can't see another reason why a villain would want to deliberately trap them like this. I mean, Malachi tries to make the argument that the device is working, even though it's not really. It is interesting. I think the resolution is earned, and I like the clear parallels between O'Neill and Malachi. As O'Neill said, he misses his son and it hurts, but he would never attempt to bring him back. It would hurt too much. I think it was the right way to wrap this plot up by tying it to a previously established event. This is such a fun episode with a very well utilised plot device. Well, that's just what I thought. I would love to hear what you all think of this one in the comments down below. If you enjoyed what you saw then, could you please hit that like button and subscribe? It will help my channel continue to grow. With that, I will see you next time we venture through the gate. Goodbye.